release of Captain America Brave New World and introducing a newer Hulk to the MCU, that of being Red Hulk, it gave me an idea that I don't think I've seen on YouTube yet, and that is ranking all of the live action Hulks, not just in the MCU, just all the live action Hulks from the worst to the best. My opinion isn't the right opinion, it's just my opinion. I'd like to know your guys' opinions down below in the comment section. But before we begin the video, make sure you guys subscribe today, and also make sure to hit the bell icon because it will notify you whenever I have a new upload that is released. Kicking off in our last place, we're gonna put She-Hulk in last place. Jennifer Walters, at least the MCU's interpretation of She-Hulk, I have not been a very big fan of. I think that they made her, or were trying to go for the Tony Stark effect of a jerk who is very quippy, but without any of the likability of Tony Stark. And the She-Hulk series prides herself on being the first one to break the fourth wall, but she doesn't do it nearly as good as Deadpool does, nor are her jokes really all that funny. Also, like I said, they made Jen Walters in this version of the character very unlikable. I just didn't want to watch her most of the time in the series, and the show itself was trash. So no offense out there, She-Hulk fans, I'm gonna have to put her in last place. Picking up next is the Red Hulk. Now this is from Captain America Brave New World, Thunderbolt Ross, which is recasted to be Harrison Ford. But I do think that there's more depth to this overall character, even more so than who's going to be coming up next, and that's because this was built up since the Incredible Hulk. General Ross has been a presence within the MCU since the Incredible Hulk's days, even appearing in movies like Civil War, all leading up to this moment where we finally get the Red Hulk from the comic books. His moments are obviously the highlight in Captain America Brave New World, but there's not enough footage for me to give a full guaranteed ranking on where he places on this list above the others. And also, Harrison Ford plays the actual character of General Thunderbolt Ross, very different to the original General Thunderbolt Ross in the MCU. His moments are awesome, but too short for Hulk moments, and I will say that I place him right next to She-Hulk, but everything from Red Hulk up is considered good in my opinion. Next up we have the Abomination. The Abomination may not have as much depth as the Thunderbolt Ross character or Red Hulk character in Captain America Brave New World. He's a very one-dimensional villain, but that being said, he has a lot more moments that are highlighted in the Incredible Hulk movie. There's lots of Emil Blonsky moments that led up to its creation in The Abomination that I felt like was really cool for this interpretation of the character. The design looks really cool. It's very different from the comic books, later updated to be more comic book accurate in Shang-Chi, but where he truly highlights is definitely in that Incredible Hulk movie, giving us probably one of the best action sequences with that Hulk in that movie. I genuinely like how the Abomination is interpreted. It is kind of a bummer that they've kind of made him into a joke in the MCU, much like the Hulks have been recently in recent years. But still, I'd still put him above Red Hulk in my opinion. Next up, we have Lou Ferrigno Hulk. Oh boy, I really love Lou Ferrigno Hulk. I really like how they took the TV series and made David Banner and his interpretation of the Hulk like truly separate personalities. I mean, literally, it's a different actor playing as the Hulk. It's just bodybuilder Lou Ferrigno spray painted in Hulk makeup, but it sells the performance very well. He's not quite the 7 foot, 8 foot, 9 foot Hulk. He's still relatively human sized, but just enhanced human strength. It works well for what they're going for, and I genuinely like the episodes of the Incredible Hulk series. Is it my favorite Hulk? No, but I thought they did a good job at this interpretation and the duality between him and Banner, so that's why I'm kind of placing him a little bit higher than the Abomination, because he had just a bit more depth than what the Abomination had. Next up, we have Eric Bana. Eric Bana, in my opinion, is the most underrated Hulk. I thought his performance was really good in the movie. It really works for what Ang Lee's interpretation of the character was going for. I also really like the way they did their Hulk in that movie. He's very powerful, very angry. Those repressed memories are really fueling his rage throughout the entire movie. I also love how they kind of went very comic booky with the design, which the technology at the time was not able to support, and that's why you have some CG moments that look kind of off with his version of the Hulk. But it does give us amazing moments like that tank battle, or amazing moments like the dogfight, or his first transformation in the lab. The only problem I have with Eric Bana's performance is Eric Bana. He does feel very wooden, and I know it's an intentional choice for this version of Bruce Banner, but there's not really a lot of charisma there and not a lot that really keeps you genuinely entertained when the Hulk is not on screen. But when this Hulk is on screen, oh baby, it does deliver. The only downside I have to this version of Hulk, that's just a nitpick in my opinion, and that kind of stunts him a little bit below the other two, is the fact that he's like 15 feet tall. That's way too tall for a Hulk, in my opinion. But next up we have Mark Ruffalo. The reason why I'm placing him here is because I really like Mark Ruffalo since that first Avengers movie. I thought he was fantastic. I love the duality between him and Banner, the Hulk and Banner I should say. They nailed it when it came down to that, especially the moment when he's like, I'm always angry. That moment will always live in infamy within the MCU. And there's many other great moments too, like the battle between him and the Hulkbuster, or even the battle between him and Ultron, or him smashing Loki. I thought there's a lot to like about Mark Ruffalo's Hulk. I also thought the design was very unique, and you can tell that they fully handled the CGI very well with this Hulk. It's still the best looking visually for a Hulk in terms of how realistic it looks. Now, the reason why he's number 2 is because they kind of made him into a joke ever since Ragnarok. It's only progressively gotten worse with his smart Hulk, and that's really reduced my likability of this version of the Hulk. And you can kind of tell that Mark Ruffalo is kind of pushing for the more comedic side to the character, which I don't think has worked for the Hulk in more recent years. Which pushes me to my number 1, and that is Edward Norton, the person who maybe took the Hulk a little bit too seriously, which cost him his position in the MCU further. Still treats the character with the most respect and treats the character genuinely as who he's supposed to be, and that is the Hulk. The true duality between Bruce and Banner struggling throughout the entire movie. One thing that's always been acknowledged in the comic books that they acknowledge very well in this interpretation is the fact that Bruce does not want to be the Hulk. He does not. It's treated more like a curse. And then there's a character arc at the end that's treating it more as something that he's learning to live with. And I thought that was really cool. Edward Norton's physicality for the character also fits very well for this version of Hulk. I also think this Hulk has some of the best moments in the MCU with how he basically destroys everything in his past or in his path. You can tell that his strength increases as he gets angrier. That Abomination fight is probably the best in the MCU, which really highlights this version of the Hulk. And though the CGI may not hold up very well today, the actual design of the Hulk is the best one out of the entire MCU, hands down. And The Incredible Hulk, in my opinion, is still the most underrated MCU movie, so of course I'm going to place Edward Norton at number 1. And it's given us what we want in the MCU currently, and that's a savage, rampaging Hulk. And we need more of this Hulk back, man. We really do. That's just my ratings of all the Hulks from the worst to the best. Again, my list is not the right list. It's just my opinion. I'd like to know your guys' opinion down below in the comment section. Again, let me know your guys' opinion down below in the comment section. And as always, if you guys like the video, make sure you guys subscribe today to join the civilization.